So today's video is actually going to be a review and first impressions of yes, I was actually not planning on buying this palette, but I went to Ulta today and I saw it and I swatched it, and I just wanted to bring it home. So I did this look right here. This is my first impressions. If you want to see basically what I think about this palette, if it's worth it or not, then just keep on watching. Okay, so to get started with this video, we of course need the Subculture palette. I actually picked it up today. I swatched it in Ulta and I actually kind of liked how it swatched, so this is how it looks. You guys already know how it looks. This is just me giving you guys my impression of it. So this is gonna be my first impression of this palette. I already have on my face makeup, blush, highlighter, all of that. So we're just gonna go straight into the eye. So I'm using this MAC paint pot right here, and this one's in soft ochre. I'm just gonna prime my lids with this. Now, I love for a palette to have a color that can set my eyeshadow primer, and this palette actually does have one. So I'm gonna use the shade called Dawn, and it's this type of beige shade right here. So we're gonna take that and I'm just gonna put that in my just to set this. And I'm not picking up a lot of product because I know a lot of people say that this palette is super pigmented, so you don't need to pick up a lot. So I'm just gonna take the littlest bit. I want to show you guys. I'm just tapping very lightly, and I tap lightly. A lot doesn't fall out, honestly. I mean, I feel like a lot of palettes have fallout. Like, even the Modern Renaissance had a good bit of fallout. I used it this morning and it had a good bit of fallout. Alright, the eyes are set. So now I'm going to move you guys closer so we can get into this look. The next shade I'm going to is called Roxy, and it's like the peach. This one right here is like a peach type of transition shade, I guess. I'm going to take that and just put it in my transition area. And like I said, this fallout is normal fallout. I feel like it reminds me of the Modern Renaissance palette, but let's just see how this blends out. I just feel like you have to work with this palette, so this would not be a beginner's palette. Of course, a lot of palettes are like that. The Huda Beauty palette, you don't want to let a beginner use, because I heard that palette's hard to work with. So I feel like there's nothing new in the beauty community to have palettes that are hard to work with. Either somebody gets it and they learn how to work with it, or they don't. I like it. Alright, next I'm going to go into, I want to take one of these type of like greenish shades. So the first shade I'm going to take is Destiny, and that's like a army green type shade. I'm just going to take that and put it into my crease first, because then I'm going to take these darker shades so it can help me. Yeah, this palette is a little bit hard to blend, so I would say this would be for somebody who's not a beginner. And I'm okay at eyeshadow, but I'm not the best, so this might be a challenge for me as well. But can I tell the difference in the Modern Renaissance and this one? Ever so slightly. It's not even a big difference, honestly, just a slight difference. I'm going to take the shade called Axis right here. Pretty like blue green shade. I'm just going to pick it up with this brush, tap off all the excess, because I noticed this pigmented, and just take it on my very outer. Do you see that? It's very pigmented. Whoa. Yes, I think this is more pigmented than Modern Renaissance, honestly. So I just barely tapped it and it's like so much pigmentation. I feel like this is how her palette should be, like it, or whoever, Anastasia's a woman, ain't she? Yeah, she is. But I feel like this is how our palette should be, because you should get your money's worth. And it should be this pigmented. Like the Sweet Peach palette from Too Faced, I don't even think it's pigmented enough for it to be that much money. But I feel like I'm actually getting my money's worth with this palette. Okay, this one I did kind of too dark. So I'm going to take the brush that it came with, and I haven't used this one yet. I'm just going to try to blend this out. It's a clean brush. We're going to try to blend this. This is one of the things I heard about this palette, is that blending is very hard. And it is blending, or is it just taking the shadow off? Yeah, it blended it. Man, y'all are too, yeah, like y'all expect too much out of stuff. Like these beauty gurus, I was like, do I really need to get this palette or not? And I figured this palette was like trash. But it's not even like, I don't know what they be expecting freaking, I don't know what they be expecting. I feel like they be expecting too much, because this is not even that bad. And I'm tapping one time, and do you see a lot of fallout? Barely any. I'm barely tapping because they say you don't have to apply that much pressure. And I don't feel like nobody goes into shadows and just, oh, nobody does that. Oh, so pretty. Okay, for the lip color, I think I'm gonna go in with, let's go in with, I'm gonna go in with something different. I always do natural looks most of the time, so I'm gonna go in with Electric, and it's probably the most beautiful shade out of the palette. It's like this yellowish gold greenish highlighter shade. So I'm gonna take a flat brush. I'm gonna take this brush, and it's actually dirty, but I'm just gonna damp it a little bit on this paper towel, on this wipe. I'm gonna damp it a little bit, so this is gonna be a little damp. That'll probably help with the application. So I'm just gonna, I'm swiping. Oh god. So I'm gonna be swiping this. I'm not gonna really be making a whole lot of mess. So I'm swiping it. So pretty. I just feel like a lot isn't coming off, and that might be because of the brush being wet, but we're gonna go ahead and go in. So let's see how this looks, guys. I'm so excited. Y'all don't see how excited I am to use this shade. I just want to see how it looks on my skin tone. All right, so let's go in. Okay, got some fallout. Going in with some more. I'm gonna rub it into my eye. I think that will help apply better. It's like so freaking gorgeous. Like, do you see this? Now it isn't as pigmented as I would like it, so I'm gonna take my Fix Plus one spray. Oh. Let it air out a bit, and we're gonna see the difference. Let's do the other side with the Fix Plus on it. Woo. It's like, I don't know, it's like chunky. It's like it's taking a lot to put this on. I feel like the freaking matte shades are better than the shimmery shades. And I think the shimmery shades are harder to make anyway. Okay. There we go. We finally got what I want. Ooh. Ooh, yes. Yes. Okay, so I don't see a huge difference between adding a Fix Plus and using it by itself, but I do think the Fix Plus made the application a little bit more smoother, so I would advise somebody to use Fix Plus. I want some of this like yellow orangey shade to be in this look, so I'm gonna take this color called New Wave. I think it's one of the most popular shades in this palette. One of the most, not the most, one of the most. So I'm gonna take my brand new Wet n Wild blending brush. I'm gonna pick up some of this shade, and I just basically tapped it, and see how lightly I'm tapping. it's a lot of fallout, but you can make it work, honestly. Just gonna take it right here, right where basically my transition shade is. I just want to add a little bit of that orange shade into it. And you guys, listen to me. If I can blend this palette and this shadow, you definitely can. All right. I just feel like you have to work with it, and sometimes you just gotta do that with certain things. All right. Yes, I'm liking this. All right. So now let's go in the inner corner color. Honestly, they don't really have one that I would reach for, but I'm gonna use this shade called Cube, and it's like the whitish shade out of the palette. I'm gonna take my little pointer brush and just apply some of that in my inner corner. And I don't know if it's gonna be pure white or have like a little, well, this brush actually had like a little bit of gold in it from my other shadows I've used, but I kind of want to say that I just got a good palette, but I don't feel like there's any good or bad palettes out. I just feel like people are just being too hard on this palette. Like, that's what I feel like. All right, let's go in with Under the Waterline. So I'm gonna go in with Untamed, and this is just a lighter shade and less blue than this one. This is one of my favorite shades out of the palette. I'm gonna use this one, and I'm gonna put it right in my waterline. And if you're someone who like doesn't do waterline stuff, I really recommend that you start trying, because it will really like the look up. I'm gonna take off a lot of the excess and just go straight under. Oh, it's so pigmented. I literally did one swipe and I usually have to do like 2 to cover my whole waterline. Y'all, it's so like, what is wrong with these beauty gurus? Like, y'all expect so much. Y'all already get y'all products sent to you for free. Y'all get to go to all these cool events and you already making bank. Like, what else you gotta complain about? Okay, so now I'm gonna go into my lashes, and I'm gonna use my 2 favorite mascaras. One is the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir Magic Volume Mascara, and the other one is the Lancome Monsieur Big Mascara. I'm gonna do that off camera, and then I'm gonna come back to you guys and with my lip color on, and then we can talk about this palette. Alright guys, so I'm back, and I finished off my look with my 2 favorite mascaras. I just used a nude lip look. So this is how the look came out. Like I said, I just feel like people just really bash this palette for no reason. Like I said, this is how much fallout I've had by using this palette, and as you can tell, it's barely any. And I would say I'm pretty good at eye makeup, so I just feel like people were using too much of a heavy hand with this palette. You can definitely get enough pigmentation by just tapping once or twice, and I'm going to show you an example. So if I go in with this color called Axis, which is my favorite color, you see if I tap twice, see how much pigmentation I have on this brush already. You don't need to tap that much into this palette, because you get more than enough pigmentation, and this is how the swatch of it came out with this brush. So you do not need to use that much of a heavy hand with this palette. Looking at the Modern Renaissance palette, I've used the heck out of this palette. I'm going to show you the same thing, so I'm going to get a different shade. Let's use one of the darker shade. I'm going to use this shade called Cypress Umber out of this palette. Just going to tap it twice and then swatch it. This palette as well is super pigmented. I just feel like these shades, and that's how that one swatched. So I just feel like Anastasia shadows in general can have a lot of fallout, because you can tell this palette has eyeshadow everywhere. I just feel like they both have a lot of fallout, but you don't have to use as much of a heavy hand as you would with the Sweet Peach palette. Sweet Peach palette, you have to use a heavy hand because the shadows aren't as pigmented as the Anastasia ones. But I just feel like people just really bash this palette for no reason. And I feel like you can definitely work with this palette. Now, working with a palette is basically making it work for you. So if you feel like this is too much fallout, don't even buy it. Me personally, I feel like it's not a lot of fallout. I feel like if I can work with this palette as being somebody who's only been doing makeup, like full face foundation and all, for almost a year, then anybody can use this palette. You just have to not use a heavy hand. And yeah, that's what I have to say. So I give this palette around the same amount of love I give the Modern Renaissance, because I feel like they're both on the same level. Like, you know, it's freaking gorgeous. It's beautiful. Has some bomb shades in here, so I feel like you should spend your $42 and get a very, very different palette, and one that you just have to use a light hand with, which will result in you having it longer. Then do that. But if you feel like it's just too much for you, then don't do it. But me personally, I feel like the palette's worth the money. I feel like it's worth it because it's freaking gorgeous. Like, do you see this outlook? It's freaking gorgeous. It's definitely worth it, worth the money, and it's not as hard to use and as crazy as people make it seem. Like I said, I don't know if I have a good palette, which I don't believe there's different types of palette out there, but I got it from a freaking Ulta in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Like, come on. If they're gonna send a different type of palette, they definitely wouldn't have sent it to my store. So yeah. Anyway, freaking love this palette, freaking love this look. I cannot wait to do more fall inspired looks because this is freaking bomb. So if you like this video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If you want me to do any more first impressions or reviews on any really like popular makeup items on YouTube, then just let me know, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, TaMorgans.